So again, just to kind of get an idea of how things work in both and what best practices we can take from both, right? Okay, so let's start with how did you get this job and tell me about your experience in getting the job.
How did I get this job? Actually, to be perfectly honest, I'll be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, be honest.
I have a friend who works here.
Okay.
He's in tendering department as well.
Okay.
But when I came here to Dubai, some of my other friends already told me that JD, if you're planning to work to a certain construction company, go to ASGC. They're one of the they're one of the best in Dubai.
The biggest,
Yeah, but my first job wasn't in ASGC, it was in GTCC.
Yeah.
So I was there for almost 2 years, and then my office mate there, my former office mate, transferred here in ASGC.
Okay.
Yes, and then I asked him how's ASGC, and then he said it's so different from my previous company.
Right.
Like, in a good way.
Good way. Yeah.
So I was trying to check the website of ASGC if they have some hiring, and then I'm not sure during that time if there was an opening, but then I just got the HR email.
Right.
So I sent my CV because as far as I know, no referrals here. That's what I know. Like you cannot. For example, my friend was already working here before, and then I asked him if he could pass me CV, and then he said no, it's not allowed. You should submit it through online or through email.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
But you can give a reference that you're this person's friend or no?
No, I don't think so.
I
didn't do that. I didn't do that. Yeah, I didn't do that. Yeah. So that's it. I submitted for example, I submitted my CV today, and then tomorrow morning, the HR recruitment officer called me.
Wow.
For an interview.
That was fast.
I know, that was so fast. So I went here for 3 sets of interviews. First one was with the HR director, Miss Mariam.
That was the first one? Usually that's the last one.
That's the first one, yeah.
Yeah. The first one, you're like, let's just... maybe there might have been something, maybe she was traveling or something.
Maybe, yeah. And the
Yeah.
second one was with the tendering manager. So I took an examination that time. And then when he was, let's say, how do you call this one? When he checked the examination, I think I passed as per his standards.
Yeah.
So the third interview after him was with the tendering director.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And the very same day, the tendering director welcomed me to the company.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, so that's it. And then the following day, the HR recruitment officer sent me the contracts.
Okay.
That's it. So it's pretty fast, really.
Very fast.
I know.
I think they really needed something.
That
was great. Okay. And how was your first job experience with GTCC? Was that like, were you recruited from the Philippines? Or?
No.
You came here looking for work. How was the situation?
I didn't come here for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came here for visit because my family. Like my family. Let's say 5 of my sisters were here before. So
5 of your sisters?
Yeah.
How big is your family?
We are 7 siblings. I have 6 sisters. I'm the youngest.
Oh my! And you're the youngest.
I am the youngest.
Oh
yeah.
God. Okay.
So basically, when I was in the Philippines, after taking the board exam, in the Philippines you have to take board exam to get a license, to become a licensed civil engineer.
Right.
So right after passing the boards in the Philippines, my sisters asked me if they didn't ask. They said, John, come here for a visit. It's our gift to you for passing the boards. And then, okay, I'll be there.
Holiday, vacation.
Yeah. I know. I'll be there for 3 months. So during my first visa, I never applied for a job because for me, I'm here for vacation. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. So 1 week before my first visa expires, my sisters asked me if I could extend another 3 months to find a job.
Oh, okay.
So I told them, okay, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So when I had my second visa, on my on my first interview, I got accepted already, but it was like inspector in an elevator company like this, inspector.
Okay.
So second interview, I got accepted as well. This is GTCC.
GTCC.
Yeah. So when
in quantity surveying.
Quantity surveying, yes.
Okay.
So when I weighed the offer things, the experience-wise, I chose GTCC since it's more in line with my profession.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And in GTCC, well, for me, GTCC, it's my stepping stone here in Dubai. It was my first company. I learned a lot from this company, from the people that I have worked with.
Right. Was that also a local company?
No.
Or is it a multinational?
It's an international company.
Really? It's a Gulf.
Well, it was. Are you aware of Drake and Skull International? No.
Drake and Skull, yeah.
Drake and Skull.
Yeah, it's a big company.
Yeah, so Drake and Skull and one of their companies is GTCC. Drake and Skull is MEP, and then the civil division is GTCC.
Drake and Skull is which one?
MEP.
What is MEP?
Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing Company.
Okay.
Yeah, and GTCC is the civil building.
Sister company, like.
Yeah, sister company.
Okay.
Yep, so we were under one management.
Okay.
Yeah, so from this company, I've learned a lot. Even there, I was already doing procurement works, procurement engineer. I did procurement engineering for 3 months, I think. I did business development for 4 months, if I'm not mistaken. So I was doing 2 jobs at the same time.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Which kind of also give you exposure into different arenas to explore.
Exactly.
As a young, person coming out to work, that's always an asset.
I know.
Sometimes you feel like you're stretched in all directions, but you learn so much at that time, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I was feeling really stressed that time, like, hey, I'm only 22, why am I doing this? Why am I doing business development? Why am I doing procurement? But then I always go on the positive side, on the positive effect. Hey, JD, this is for you in the long run. You're gonna, this will be your weapon.
Right.
Experience.
Yeah.
So,
I like how you're like JT. I like that.
JD, yeah.
JD?
Yeah, JD. My D, yeah, because my full name is John Denver, so JD.
Yeah. Okay, JD works as well, like JD and Scrubs. Okay, so that's cool. Since you're 25 and you've just kind of recently joined the organization, are you in the ASGC Academy?
Actually, I just applied for it.
Hopefully
I'll.
What is that, like an application?
There is. You have to submit. You have to submit your brief proposal about the academy.
Yeah.
You have
what project you're going to do or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
So right now I'm still finalizing the proposal.
Okay.
And then you have to get at least 2 recommendations. So this one is recommendation from my director, and still waiting from my manager. So hopefully.
That is great. Well, good luck. So you hopefully for the second round of people coming in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. I was just actually thinking that you qualified age-wise and maybe even what you're doing, or at least what sounds like could be interesting for you. So that's brilliant.
Thanks.
Okay, sorry, you were saying something and I cut you off. I think, no?
I think I'm finished.
Yeah, you're
You can hear me later.
Yeah, I know. So GTCC was a good start for you, at least in this area. But in terms of company culture, because that was an international company and this is a local company, and what were the differences that you've seen and what you liked or disliked? Even now, like in both?
Well, the only bad thing from my previous company is I joined them when they were about to, let's say, collapse.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the wrong timing.
I know it was the wrong timing, but when I said it was my stepping stone, it was because of my colleagues.
Right.
Like I learned a lot from my Filipino estimators, even from my Arabic estimators. So I think the best thing that happened in my previous company is the people itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's
But
good.
the management, honestly, I think when I joined, it was about to collapse.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a lot of companies right now in the UAE.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep. Hmm.
And then how would you compare it to the company culture here?
Well,
Versus, yeah.
let's say ASGC, so far, I think, I mean, I'm gonna stay here for long. That's what I keep on telling myself. JD, stay here for long because I'm liking the management.
You
I'm
like
liking
the
how they run the
style.
company. Yeah, I like the sound. I like the office location.
That's the big one, yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't really say any negative
Right.
about the management. It's all positive. That's why I keep on telling myself, JD, stay here for a little.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you,
Most especially this one, the academy. So
yeah, so you have like hopes, high hopes on this one.
yeah.
That sounds great, and I'm sure you'll do great as well. So yeah, just keep trusting yourself, and you'll be fine. Great. Okay. Let's talk about certain things that we would like to change. Okay, so we'll talk about the organization later, but let's talk about just the general experiences that you've had in the West. Research has shown that there are a lot of inequality issues in the world in general, but in the West specifically, they concentrate a lot on the gender pay gap. Have you heard of the term gender pay gap?
Well,
men and women
yeah.
the same role getting paid differently, almost like 40% different.
I don't.
In the UK specifically, in the US.
I don't think it's happening here in the company.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No way. I
In
don't
the
think
Middle
so.
East, in the UAE.
In the UAE, wait.
Like I'm sure you have your friends, your sisters.
Yeah, my sisters.
Yeah.
For my sisters, no. No inequality.
No gender.
From my friends, from my family, no.
Yeah. There's another concept that they talk about, which is the glass ceiling. That means that, women cannot go into leadership roles.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. My sister led Adidas Dubai Mall for almost 10 years.
Wow.
She was a manager, but she migrated already to Canada 2 years ago.
Okay.
But she led the Dubai Mall for 10 years. So.
Okay. And where is she now in Canada?
In Canada, she's in Ontario.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Toronto? Or
I have really no idea. I haven't spoken with her in a while.
Okay. Are you planning to go to Canada?
Not soon.
Not
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, apply before the age of 30. I would suggest. Because my plan is to go.
To Canada as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just plan. We already have Canadian.
Cool.
My husband and I, we have the PR. So it's just about finishing our PhDs and going.
Cool. Good luck.
That's the plan. Thank you. Okay.
So
you don't
regarding
feel
inequality, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
A lot of people have the same sentiments as you. They don't feel like there's a lot of gender inequality here, but they do talk about a racial inequality here in terms of pay specifically. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
That's like 100%. Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah.
From what I
everybody
hear,
knows.
from what I hear
Yeah.
and what I know, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Like that's the big one here.
But I think I can understand why.
Okay.
Like I mean, for example, in the Philippines, like of course the government has to take care of its own citizens.
Yeah.
So even if it sounds like let's say discrimination.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, Philippines, you have to take care of your people first.
Oh, you mean you're talking about locals? Yeah.
No, not just
government and local.
Not just really about local. I think.
I'm talking in the expat region. So like I'm an expat, you're an expat.
Not local.
not local. I
Well,
mean,
yes,
local,
yes,
I do
yes.
understand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there is, of course,
Of course,
there are
of course.
minority, they
Of
are,
course.
locals.
Mhm.
So yes, you understand that. But in the expat space, you versus a European national
For
in
sure.
the same job,
For sure.
getting paid differently.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yes. Yes.
How do you feel about that? As obviously
Well,
the one on the front end of things.
it would. I mean, it is unfair.
It's
For
unfair,
sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
yeah.
you're doing the same job.
Yeah, or even better sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that, but then you're not paid equally. He gets higher payment because of his nationality. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I think it happens here.
Yeah.
I already heard a lot of things from my friends, from my family, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
very common here. Sort
Mhm.
of, a lot of people accept it.
But-
Why do you think that is?
Sorry?
A lot of people accept that. I mean, this is happening
Because
with
it's been
Brazilians.
maybe the culture, or they were brought, or they were, it was instilled in their minds that, okay, this is how it is.
Right. Okay.
So, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna ask the management
Yeah.
about the wage? I don't think anyone can do that. Expat can do that. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
That's what you think, that there's a fear. Some
I
kind
think
of
so.
fear.
I think so. Yes.
What is the fear?
Because fear of losing your job.
Losing your job.
Yeah, that's the number one. I mean,
Yeah.
we are an expat.
Yeah. Then what happens? When you lose the job, what happens?
When you lose a job, you're gonna think of your family back home. Well, I mean, most
In your
especially
case, yeah.
in our case, Filipinos. I mean, we go here because we want to give our family back home a better life.
Right.
If you're gonna lose your job, you cannot support them.
You cannot support them, and then you have to also leave the country.
Yes,
if you don't
exactly.
find something else.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. I think that is the number one concern. You're
Mhm.
right. I
Mhm.
was just pushing you in that direction because almost everyone has talked about this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that's always
Yeah.
the biggest consideration.
Mm.
Like, hey, if you want to stay in Dubai, follow. That's the case.
Right.
Mm. But fortunately, in this company, I don't think so. I'm thinking we have Egyptians, we have Indians, we have Filipinos, we have Arabic people. I don't think there is inequality in payment, racial. I mean, race-wise. I don't think so. I don't think so. Hmm.
But it's, as long as you feel that, it's fine. Because
No,
it's
no,
not been,
no, I'm being
it's
serious.
not because it's recorded. I
Yeah.
have had people
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
in places where they have access who have said that. Yeah. So
In this
yeah.
company.
And they have it's on record.
Mhm.
It's there, like, you know.
Well, in
I've
this.
had it's been very nice that they've been very honest, especially even in HR.
Mhm.
The HR manager, people in HR, they have been so super honest about what goes on. That's it. In fact, to the extent that they've given asked me to ask some questions that how can they make their policies better
Mhm.
to the employees, like, because it's anonymous, right? You're not
Mhm.
doing a survey online, so your name will not go.
Mhm. Well, for me, based on my own experience, when I was hired in tender department, I think I was given an offer fairly
Right.
compared to other nationalities. So
Right.
I couldn't really say if there.
Yeah, I mean that you can only talk about your experience.
I know.
And
I
if
know.
you feel that this is fair and stuff, don't listen to me, because I shouldn't even be telling you this, especially if you're feeling good about it. Because a lot of the stress that comes is from these things, and I don't want to stress you out. So if you're happy, that's
Well,
what we want.
so far I'm happy.
Yeah. But generally, that's one of the issues in the UAE for inequality in terms of pay.
Race.
Now, race. In terms of pay for different nationalities, different passport holders, things like that.
Yeah,
Now,
once
as
you're a
far as-
Canadian passport holder, you're gonna get higher salary, I think.
I mean, after doing this research, I would be very much against that. Yeah. But there are three things that my study wants to address. First is this: everyone knows this is an issue. A lot of people have justified saying, for so reasons this is happening. Okay, and this is a model that works. So I have but say from the 100%, about 25% say that. Usually, like from what I've interacted with. The others say yes, it's not fair, blah blah. So they also don't know. So as for the reasoning part or justification, do you think there is a justification for this or no?
For
the low pay for Asians and high pay for.
I don't think there is
any
a justification.
Whether it's currency conversion, demand versus supply, quality of life and whatever back home versus whatever.
Well, I mean, for me, personally, I see everyone equally.
Yeah.
So why would you pay unequal?
Especially because you know what? Your nationality doesn't define the work you're doing.
I know.
That's the bottom line.
I know.
Okay, why are you thinking of how much that is in pesos or rupees or in dollars? Like, it doesn't make sense. If you think you can earn more in your home currency, then you would obviously not be here. At the same time, like, I don't understand. I understand. To the extent you won't believe, JD, I've had people tell me that the cost of education, the quality of education, okay, quality I understand. If you everything is subjective then, if you put quality in that perspective, right? But if you're looking at the objective of what qualification you have, civil engineering, like kind of just to justify that, no matter what cost you've paid for it, right? Because I feel like, for example, like Indian doctors are like much better than generally in medicine.
I know.
Like in medicine, IT professionals are like always, like you always hear like Indians are top.
Come on, Indians are the smartest in the world. No, I mean I know that. I know that.
No, but I'm just saying. But at the same time, they're not paid as highly as like.
Maybe because we have this concept that we see Western people so high.
The problem is within us.
I know.
The problem is not anybody else. It's because we've given that status to the white skin. I have nothing against. I'm not racist.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, even as a woman, I'm not a feminist because I feel like you do not have quotas for women in engineering because look for the right candidate. Don't look for male or female.
I know.
That's my way of looking at things. So when you automatically look for the right candidate, you will see what they deserve in terms of remuneration and whatever.
Maybe it would be better if the nationality will not be provided, the gender will not be provided, just the
CV qualifications.
I know. Correct. Like, are you gonna?
But in this part of the world, they even need your photo.
Yeah.
If you're pretty or not. It's insane. But in the West, and that's what I like about the West, they have the equal employment opportunity. I'm sure.
In the West.
Yeah. Talk to your sister who's in Canada, for example, and see. I'm sure there's always racism. There are elements of other things that come in, but they have the laws to protect. Here there are no laws. There is an anti-discrimination law, which is very vague, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Yeah, I mean, the fines could go up to 1 million dirhams. I mean, who has 1 million dirhams? What are you suing? Who are you suing? Can you even sue? Like, it's just insane. Like, it's come to a point where just trying to understand what does this law even mean.
Mm-hmm.
You've put it out there just to show that you're more tolerant and stuff like that, but it's like, come on, let's get real. So that's me questioning, and trying to figure out like what. So what is the solution in terms of the government? Do you think it's the government that it's like a cycle? Because a lot of people have said different things, and I've put two and two together as part of my research. And as someone who, okay, so basically it starts, from me, I see it as a starting point is the government at the macro level.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're keeping these rules where if you get fired, you lose your visa.
Yes.
Essentially. That is the fear.
I know.
The job insecurity comes from the fear of losing the visa, which is the government's hands, right? No one else is doing anything with that. Okay, and then because of that fear, people put up with a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a cycle. You see, because they put up with that, the pays are low, and then this influences everyone, and it's like a cycle. So I do see it that the government as a starting point, but what do you see? Where does it change? So government, organization, and individual. These are the three levels that I'm looking at in terms of my multi-level approach in the model, where I'm looking at the macro level. So the macro is the national policy making. At the meso level is the organization. What the organization's HR policies what is the right way of doing things. And then at the micro level is as an individual, what change can you bring about, or what do you think is the solution to this?
Well, I agree with what you said with the government. I mean, as I was saying a while ago, expats are afraid to lose the jobs, because it means you're going to lose your visa as well.
Yeah.
And then you have to go back home because of this, correct?
Yeah.
So
maybe having a policy where you have at least 6 months visa after you lose your job, so you have enough time to...
I know. I think right now only 1 month, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? If 6 months, that would be a lot better.
Little more at ease. Because right now you're single.
I am.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't have a family or kids or something.
No,
but there are many people who worry about the family and kids because they're in school. Like, in the middle of the semester, if you lose your job, that's so much stress.
Too much stress, So
6 months visa, if you lose your job, or if you get fired, or if you decide to leave, whatever, right? Okay. Then at the organization level, what can the companies do to adopt a policy where there's equality or diversity management?
You mean organization in general, or in this organization?
No, in the UAE in general.
In the UAE.
Yeah, because the multinational companies have their laws from their home country organizations. So if WSP, for example, is Canadian, they would adopt the policies that have the Canadian way of thinking. Oh, we value diversity. That's like the biggest thing in the West these days. Oh, we value diversity. They're like the most racist people there, but no, they value diversity. Okay, anyway, so that trickles down, but then you have the country's labor laws as well. So you have the company's policies and practices, and then you have your country's labor laws. How do they both interact with each other? What do you think? Because, until and unless it's enforced, the organizations here don't do. And even if they are, don't get me started. The things I know as part of the research is crazy. Because even with the localization policies, right? The recruitment of nationals to fulfill certain quotas, everyone's misusing that as well. Like, majority of the companies here, they misuse it. They have people on a fake payroll. And this is in research, there is research done on this.
Okay.
Yeah. The stuff that happens in the Middle East is crazy.
I didn't know about that, really.
Yes. So just to fulfill the local quota, they will have, because they can't afford to hire the locals who they have a bad reputation for work ethic. Not generalizing, this is in research, so I need to quote the reference. As academics, we can't write anything on our own unless it's primary research, which I'm talking to you right now. I'm collecting data, so this I can talk about under my name. But with anything else, we can't just say, we're plagiarism. Anyway, so this happens as well. So there are like other. I'm not even going into amortization because that's a whole topic on its own. Like I can write a thesis just on that. But I have to acknowledge that there are certain things that happen the way they do. So I mean, it's a bit of a question mark for organizations. I don't know.
I know.
I'm just you tell me. This I'm a little clearer about because a lot of people have talked about it, and I could do the calculation and then put 2 and 2 together, like you said. That makes sense, right? But with organizations, what can they do?
What can they do for
managing diversity, equality?
Well, right now I'm speaking based on my experience again. In my first company, maybe in our department, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we were let's say 6 sets of nationalities in our department. So I don't see any problem with that. Diversity wise, I mean, we have Arabic, we have Filipino, we have
They
Asian.
all work well together?
Yeah. Fortunately, yeah.
That's a big one, right? Because one of the biggest barriers to diversity is communication, culture clash.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the people as well. I mean, me personally, I'm open to any culture. Like I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. What can the organization do to ensure equality? When they say equality, it's not just equality because it's on paper, but actually do change the contract if there is inequality, or bring in a proper grading scale. Are you happy with the way the grading scale, the grades are right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But regarding your question about the organization,
like, okay,
why?
everyone else is completely including HR. Okay.
Yeah, so regarding your question about what the organization can do for equality, as I was saying earlier, I think they should never base, first of all, the let's say the pay regarding the nationality. Because first of all, they're going to do the same job. They have the same job description. They're going to do the same job. And you were saying maybe this Asian might do better than.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
So first, I think nationality should never be
a criteria
for pay. Yeah. Gender should never be a criteria for pay as well.
Right.
I so much believe in equality. Really, I see everyone fairly. So for me, everything should be, or everyone, everyone should be, everything should be transparent. Everyone should be equal. Yeah. So, I mean, once organization has this in their mind that everyone is equal, gender-wise, race-wise, everyone is equal, then I think the people will be happy. The employees will be happy.
Right. And as an individual level, as a Filipino, what could you do to ensure that we work towards? It's a movement that might take a long time to come around, right? Especially at an individual level, because every drop creates the ocean. So, but you know what I mean? Like, it's at the small level, but it has to be like a movement where, you know, you put your foot down to say no, that's wrong. Like, but no one wants to do that because they don't want to lose their job, or they're scared, or whatever, right? So as an individual, what can an individual do?
Well, as we were discussing before, it all starts within ourselves, correct?
Right.
Once you see everyone equally, I think everything will follow. Like once you realize that Canadians are the same with Asians, Europeans are the same with South Africans. Once you see this, well, once your mind says that everyone is equal, I think it starts from there. And luckily, from
you haven't faced that,
I haven't faced that because I treat everyone equally. I see everyone equally.
But if you were to know that this was happening, how would you react to it? If you were to know that the person that you are in the same grade, the same like qualifications, whatever, is getting paid more because of the nationality or not, say they're a woman and they're getting paid less, which some women have in the engineering space have confessed that, I did find out. What would you do?
Well, there's still another criteria actually, because it's not just about nationality, it's not just about gender, it's about experience as well.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, for example,
experience is a big one here.
I know.
No, definitely, everything is the same, or maybe even better for you. Maybe you have a master's.
I don't have, but in France.
I know.
I thought that was a question.
Hypothetical. Because none of this is happening to you right now. It's just hypothetical. So if you have a master's, you know, maybe also you go to Harry-Potter now to have a master's. You're here. Since you're here, you have access to different universities, like from different parts of the world. We have quantity surveying masters.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. If you want to come. And you never know, I'll see you on campus. But yeah, so you know what I mean? Like.
Well,
in that case, what would you do? You come to know, would you approach HR? Would you approach your director? Would you be strong enough? Confident
yes,
enough?
if I would be strong enough and fearless enough to do what I want to do, I would speak with the HR, for sure. I would speak with the management. I mean, since I was in college, I mean, equality is in my mind already, but of course I have to consider as well, I am in another country. I am not in the Philippines. I am in another country, so at least I should follow some of their rules. But if I were in the Philippines, and then I see this happening, for sure, I'm going to be the first one in the line to complain.
Right.
This is who I am. Even when I was studying, if I see something unequally or unfairly, I'm going to be the one saying that, hey, this is not good. Because I was a leader when I was in college. I was a college leader. So
right, me too.
Cool. That's really cool. So you know, equality is on top of my mind always.
I was the president of the student council.
Cool. So if I was strong enough, as I was saying, if I was fearless enough.
But are you?
Depends. Like as I've said, if I was in the Philippines, there's nothing that can stop me. Actually, like I want everything to be fair. I can even go in the street having this like, this is who I am back in the Philippines.
Yeah, you're an activist.
Yes.
You're in the wrong place.
But of course, I mean, I am in another country. I have to consider a lot of things.
Of course,
But I can
there
still.
is no freedom of speech here. So.
but I can still, let's say, complain like nicely in a good way. Well, I mean, activist for me, there's nothing wrong with that. Sorry.
Yeah. True. I would be that person as well.
So far, in my experience in UAE, I haven't, let's say, I haven't felt this fear
Right.
when I'm complaining, because even the HR of this company is the one who initiates, like,
Yeah.
what can we do to improve our
Yeah, yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
I get
blah,
that,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. So, so far I haven't experienced that in
Yeah.
UAE. If I had to experience this, I think I'm gonna go with the HR. I'm gonna say what I need to say,
Right.
at least. At least I did something wrong correct in my life.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And do you think everyone should do the same?
Well,
A lot of people have their, their like, it's a Hindi word, but it means majburi, means like that they would like to, but they can't because of certain reasons.
mm-hmm. Well,
Like I said, again, people think of their families, they think of,
yes.
so it's like it's a big movement. I mean,
I know.
it's something that.
It's a cycle. It will never stop.
Yeah, no, but this.
Someone has to break the cycle.
At an individual level, everyone would like to make a change. But like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm understanding from talking
Yes.
to so many people, but they're helpless. I've had
They're
one
helpless.
person cry.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never had that. So in the interview, so like before we even started, we started talking, and they were crying, and I was just like, oh my god,
What?
don't do that. Like, please, this is like, people will think I make people cry. No, because they were so touched by the topic.
Mm-hmm.
They can't talk to anybody. They really feel like a dead end situation. So it's sad, and it's like, these are real issues.
I know.
These are real people that we're talking about. These are not just just nobodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are somebody, and everyone should have a voice to express themselves in whatever way. And some of the interviews do turn into a coaching session because my background is in business psychology, so we end up having these, and they ask me some interesting questions. And I remember women with the previous company that I did my interviews with, they were like, they go over 2 hours sometimes, and I'm like, can we reschedule something together then? Like literally at a personal level, they're just like, this is this, but it's career progression. Usually career progression is a sensitive subject for people.
Yeah.
So that's one that they often talk about and get like emotional about. So yeah. Okay, so what changes would you like to see in the organization, and then what changes would you like to see in the country's labor laws and policies?
Organization and disorganization.
Yeah, any. This is not related to what we discussed. Anything.
Everyone has to get 2 days off weekly.
That's a big one. I get that a lot. 2 days off. Yeah. Do you see any inequality in that? I've heard some people get and some people don't.
Not really. I mean,
no, everyone has to complete.
Yeah. It still depends on working hours per week, and I think, but if we get 2 days off weekly, then that would be so much better.
Okay, I'll put it in the report.
I think it's the first, yeah?
Yeah. Some of the stuff that we discussed today, I will be putting in an anonymous report to HR. Okay, as in the report will be like this. So I created one for the VSP as well. I'll show you. 35% of the employees felt, or say 90% of the employees felt they should get 2 days off.
Say 100%.
Like so something like that. Like your name will not be there. So I'll just show you how I did for them. which is just the report. As you can see, it is saying almost all employees found, employees primarily liked about 40% of the employees. So again, there's no name, so you can't track who said what, even if they said something bad, though you didn't. It's okay if you do, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's talk about this. Are you aware of the term social capital?
No. Well, I think I heard about it when I was college, but that was like 7 years ago.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. It relates to the networks of relationships, the connections that people have or build over time, and how these connections can help them move ahead in life, essentially. So in terms of HR and recruitment, just pretty much like what you said, you knew you had a friend here, and well, although they didn't directly help you, you kind of came to know a little more about the organization through them. So do you think that these kind of connections, relationships, social capital is very important in getting jobs and getting promotions, etc., in this part of the world?
It is. Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever come across any stories that people get?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Well, I have some friends who are engineers as well, and they're working in other contracting companies as well. Sometimes they were asking, JD, do you have any hiring there? Blah, blah, blah. Please tell me if there's an opening. Then I kept on telling them, I'm not really aware, just go to the website. The same thing that my friend told me, go to the website. If there's an hiring, then apply for a job. Because there's no referral here. That's what I keep on telling them, because I think that's the truth here. Maybe, I don't know, but for me, that's what I know.
You're so straight that you see everything in that black and white. There are a lot of grays, my friend, like the shirt that you're wearing.
That's what I know.
No, that's good. It's good that there are certain processes in your mind, and that's how things are. It might not necessarily be the case, but that's fine. I mean, you see the world in this way, and that's a good thing, I would think, because it kind of keeps all the negativity out. So yeah, it sucks because I know too much. When you do research, it really gets to you at a personal level. Like, it's not about the conversation, but it really gets to you because it starts interfering in your personal life as well. Especially these issues, because they're like very societal issues, like inequality and all of that. And I've never been like an activist or anything like that, but the more you read, the more you talk to people, the more you start thinking about it, and then you start applying it to every facet of your life, which kind of gets really stressful sometimes. My husband's like, calm down. I'm like, no, I can't keep calm, okay? So that gets to you, and that's like 3 to 4 years of your life. Like when you're doing a PhD, it just consumes you completely. So it gets intense sometimes. But it's also interesting. But yeah, I mean, if you have to like keep that away, please do that. It's a good thing. It's a good mantra. I should learn. Okay, so these kind of relationships, you think they're quite crucial, quite essential in this part of the world. What are your thoughts on getting an interview through a connection? And that happens a lot. So.
But I don't believe in that.
No?
I don't believe in that.
You've not experienced it, or you just?
I have not experienced it, and.
Do you know anyone who's experienced it?
No, I don't know anyone
who
has experienced it, and I won't recommend.
I'll meet you in 10 years. You're not in the bar for long enough. Okay.
Well, so I mean, as I keep on saying, everyone should be equal.
Right. Yeah.
This
does come into this equality thing because of sometimes there is bias involved. You know, so in that sense, yes, it does come in as part of the inequalities thing. But in interviews, you're saying that no, it should not be. Do it on your own merit. Contact companies.
Yeah,
you know,
I believe
but a lot
so.
of people would say that doesn't happen here. Like you always have to know someone to even get an interview or to get anywhere because people just work on internal references. And don't get me wrong when I say that they make the process very formal as well.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know,
Yep.
so the previous company that I interviewed with, they actually had a reward system for references.
Oh, cool.
They had like between 2 to 10,000 because it's cheaper for them to hire internally than through a recruitment agency or through ads or whatever.
Well,
And that's a multinational company. What I'm trying to say is not like, it's not usually, it's in this part of the world, it's especially not taken in a negative light.
on experience, I have not.
Never done.
I have never
come
done
across.
it. I
Right,
have never
right,
experienced it, and personally, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. So if you're saying no to the interview, you obviously will say no to the job. Means getting the job just through a contact.
For sure.
What about promotion?
Promotion.
That's a little different.
You mean?
Relationships, networks, you know, having your boss as a buddy, informally, you know, meeting them outside of work, being close with their families. How does that affect promotion decisions?
Well, I think.
Basically, having good relationship and rapport with your superior.
Me personally, my manager, we work out at the same gym. CrossFit here, Building 11, just on next building. So sometimes when we are working out, he's even like, "Hey, JB, like, really? Like, I high five my boss." But
he's pretty cool. Huh? Where is he from?
He's from India.
India. Okay.
Yeah, he's from India. But
who is your boss? What's
Mr. Jyoti Abraham. He's a procurement manager.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I haven't interviewed him. Put him forward for the interview.
Yeah, so I think it's good to have connections from your office mates outside from work, but that shouldn't be a basis for promotion.
Right, it should be on the work.
It should be on the work. Everything should be on how productive you are at work and not connection or your connection outside.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think for promotion there shouldn't be any other basis aside from your work productivity.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. Good. Okay. Again, I wasn't going to judge you. So whatever you say. Okay. What about the word part?
Though, wait, from the previous one, though, I mean, communication, of course, is important. Like, of course, your boss will...
Smooth communication.
Smooth communication. But for me, everything should be limited at work only. Aside from work, there should never be a basis for
There's
promotion.
A line, basically.
Yeah, there should be...
You draw a line.
Yeah, there should be. Like, you're good at work, you're bad at outside, and hey.
But do you think that happens generally around the world?
I don't
in the
think so.
UAE,
No.
In the
No.
Middle East?
It doesn't.
What are you saying? That doesn't happen? The relationships
Well, I mean,
don't affect promotion?
what I meant was, I was saying everything should be
Everything should be. That's the idea.
about the basis. I mean, work productivity, but it never happened.
It never.
It never happened. Everything's about connection.
Right.
Yeah, and I hate it. I hate that.
You hate it.
But I mean, let's face it. The reality is connection.
Yeah. Yeah. For everything almost.
I know.
What about? Thank you. Okay. If you were a local.
Okay, so if you were a local, this would have been so different.
Yeah.
First of all, because we were discussing earlier that there's really no freedom of speech
Yeah.
here, and
Yeah.
you're really afraid because local, what if they're gonna say, or they're gonna tell the government whatever you're saying.
Right, right, right.
So I
right.
got more confident when you said that you were an Asian, you were an
Yeah.
Indian. So yeah, so
That's very important because when we do our research, we have our own reflective diary. That says a lot about perceived. It's very, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah, no problem,
you
no
know
problem.
this thing, but it talks about perceived appearances, and then the reality, and then also how we react to different people, and in order not to offend them sometimes, or things like that. So whenever I feel that this person thinks I'm local, I do clarify that, because then they are usually more at ease. They feel like, okay, it's an expat, they understand, you know.
I know.
It's
I
more
know.
of a like we understand. So this was very interesting when I was reading my supervisor's research. And she's actually from Cyprus, so and her research was on ethnic minority women in the UK.
Okay.
So obviously we all are in this equality minority space. Okay. So when she would interview, she had to really understand how these people would be comfortable talking about their issues to a white person. Like, do they understand? You know, so if I was Indian talking to a white about my struggles as an ethnic minority woman, so then the card that she would play is that she's also a woman. She goes through the same problems of childbirth and this and this. It's like there has to be some link,
some connection,
to do honest research, because otherwise it will be flawed.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're holding back. You're whatever. That's why even a lot of people are scared to talk about the company if they feel something, I say I'm an external, I have nothing to do with them, and also this helps, because the moment you say that you signed something that's, you're more at ease that everything's going to be confidential and things like a contract that I won't break. So yeah, it was great. Thank you so much. I learned a lot as well.